Hey guys, it's Norm from Tested.
And it's Adam.
And Adam, I need your help. I've come to you today for some assistance.
All right.
And hopefully it's something that you'll be interested in. We know that you love, you have your Blade Runner gun.
Yeah.
And you also have a Harrison Ford Indiana Jones pistol.
I do.
So
both of those are super accurate.
3 makes a trend though, and there's another famous gun that Harrison Ford uses in a movie that people may have heard of, Star Wars.
The Han Solo's blaster.
And that's one that you don't have a perfect replica of, or that you haven't invested time in researching.
I haven't really. I've got a belt on order right now. And
is it the RPF leather one?
Yeah. Yeah. He's making me one. I got to get him my measurements later on today. Literally later on today. But the blaster I have is a cheesy. It's not cheesy. It's fine, but it's a cheapo, like $150 one.
Right, something that you can buy online and pre-assembled. Yeah. So I want to talk about your blaster, but let's make a blaster. I thought it'd be fun to make a Han Solo blaster. Okay,
because it's really specific how. When you get into the accuracy of the Han Solo blaster, you're delving into an area of esoterica and specificity that I have never even traipsed into. This is a level of detail-oriented fandom that's actually beyond me. I mean, I'm totally gobsmacked by what people know.
And we have to give credit to the RPF because it's really those guys who did all the research. But thankfully, I've read all 96 pages of the Han Solo DL-44 Blast Tech thread, and so let's just dive in to those details.
Do you have the parts?
We have the parts right here. That's pretty cool.
Dude, oh my gosh.
Isn't that amazing? To give people a sense of the story behind these parts and the blaster, there are 2 members of the RPF, one guy named Pat Matura and Carson Case, who for the past almost 2 years now have been trying to create this perfect replica. The perfect replica. I know there's no such thing as
right, because the gun changes from scene to scene, but
it does.
What is the canon one that's considered? Is it from a specific scene, from a specific movie?
The hero prop, and not only does it change from scene to scene, it changes in the promo photos too, because they shot a lot of those famous promo photos before they shot the movie.
Okay, so
this is yours.
This is mine. This is mine.
And I would say I would call it serviceable. I think people in RPF would call it serviceable.
They'd call it good for trooping, right?
Good for the content. It's good weight.
This is a really nice one.
Is really nice. This one was made by Master Replicas, the replica company, a couple years ago, and this is their elite edition, their second version of the DL-44. They actually made one before that. It was inaccurate. This one also a little bit inaccurate by today's standards. So we'll go into the history of the gun.
Okay.
George Lucas, his production company, Roger Christian, the set decorator, they went to an armorer in the UK because they shot a lot of Star Wars in the UK called Bapty.
Okay.
And this armorer didn't just do science fiction movies, they did a lot of World War II movies, a lot of spy thrillers, including 2 movies in the 70s. One was Frank Sinatra's The Naked Runner, and then Oliver Reed's Sitting Target, both of which
used almost the same gun, or maybe the exact same gun.
The exact same Mauser C96 pistol. This is a World War II pistol. Winston Churchill used it. It was used all over China. There are millions of them all over the world.
Did they actually screen match the serial number?
Not serial number, but the dents on the gun and the way it was modified. So in here, the real big tell is this Naked Runner pistol, because if you look at a C96 Mauser, which I have replicas of here, you've seen this gun, like the Rocketeer kind of uses it too. What's different about the one in the Naked Runner is at the bottom of the barrel there's a bull barrel. So it's thicker. It's all right. It's thicker than what you would get with the normal barrel, and it's a flat bottom.
Why would it be a flat bottom?
It was just milled that way for the movie. So it's the only one out there, and this one, you can tell, and yours, not flat bottoms. That was a recent discovery, only made about a year. It's curved in the bottom right here. So those guys in the RPF, they took the screen grabs from those movies. They took all the reference photos, everything they could find in Google. They even talked to some archivists from Lucasfilm to get their impressions and their photos, and work with a machinist in New York to make a very limited run of these parts. And I'm going to call out a few of the identifying markers of the gun. So you have this base Mauser gun.
Yeah.
And they use a combination of real Mausers for Star Wars Episode 4. Episode 5, they actually didn't use real guns. They used a model kit a Japanese company called the Model Gun Corporation, MGC.
I remember buying stuff from them back in the 80s.
Right, they were made in the late 70s and 80s. They actually made a cheaper version of the MGC.
I think I bought exactly this gun from them back in the 80s.
And this is one of the guns. So this is in the same family of replica Mausers that Lucasfilm actually used for Empire Strikes Back, for the next versions of the DL-44. It's as close as you can probably get to having the real Mauser. Gun owners and gun collectors actually are kind of irked at Star Wars fans because they're buying up all these guns.
Right.
You know, $300 a pop, and then milling them and cutting off the barrels to make their blasters.
It's the flash. It's the flash handles all over again. The lightsaber flash handles. Yeah.
Right. Now, for yours, I can tell this one is actually made. The base gun is made from something like this.
Which is a Denix?
It's a Denix. It's something you can buy online.
The casting
on Amazon.
On these is just disgusting.
It's not great, and you can tell it doesn't have all the right serial numbers, and there's this identifying diamond there.
Yeah, they're all soft.
When Master Replicas made their first one, it had that diamond still, which is not on the MGC, which was something that it was quite a snafu, which they remedied in the future version. But yeah, this has good action. You could take that apart.
Wow.
Now, some of the people on the RPF have even gone so far as to replace the handles, the grips. I think these are just plastic ones.
Wow.
And this one, but it's a great feel, and these are rare on eBay. You have to
really
kind of keep an eye out and do a saved search. Whenever they pop up, they sell out really quickly. I was really fortunate to get one of these. So you have the base gun. This is the flash hider, the famous flash hider.
Right. Was this a found part?
An MG-81 machine gun from an aircraft.
I see.
None of those exist. Very, very few of the real ones. So this is machined. And
that is gorgeous.
Yeah, when the guys were modeling them, on their computers before they were machined, they had to pick out exactly how many lines would go across.
Oh my gosh.
How many holes. So this is I think is near perfect.
Good Lord, this is unbelievable.
You have the scope.
The scope is
German
beautiful.
scope.
This is totally hand machined and
They did some tricky things with the lettering here, so you're not violating copyrights. It does say the Hensoldt Wenzler, but it's missing a few of the lines. So you can kind of make it out.
Was that a problem? Was that something that was going to cause them a problem?
Well,
they didn't want to.
They didn't want to run in that problem later.
Wow, I'm impressed. It's
very, very cool. Here you have this grill that goes in the front. It's the heat sink.
That is a beautiful piece.
On the gun.
This is anodized aluminum.
It is. A lot of controversy about where this piece originally came from.
Has it been determined?
Only very recently. So some people thought it was like piping.
Yeah.
It was rubber piping, and you can actually see this type of ribbed grill in other Star Wars parts.
Yeah.
It's in the Luke's Landspeeder, it's in other guns. Only very recently did the guys in the RPF find out that the grill and these two little greeblies,
the ones that are on the top
sights,
of the barrel, right.
These aren't, what does it look like to you?
These look like joysticks from a remote control
That's what
operator.
they thought too.
Wait.
Go.
What else could it be? Pins for a cribbage game. Okay, go ahead.
Pistons for a model airplane cylinder engine, along with this.
Of course, a rotary.
And they found it. It was a kit, a Hawker Tomtic kit.
I'm amazed it took that. Well, of course now it seems obvious, but. That's amazing.
Took them years and years, and only last December, huge revelation.
Wow.
And the great thing is that kit there's still like a 4th generation, 5th generation family that makes that kit, and they can actually, with the original moldings almost, and so they're buying both these cylinders and those little greeblies from one of the original manufacturers.
Amazing. And
so we have all these pieces.
You want to put it together?
I would love for your help putting this together.
Let's totally do it. All right. So where should we start? Do you have a build order that you're thinking of?
I think the most important thing is going to be the flash hider and the bull barrel.
The flash hider and the bull barrel, right? And that means we've got to cut this thing down.
Yeah, and we're going to use the MGC one.
Okay, we're going to use the MGC. So
nice
the hell
one.
with the Denix, and we're going to cut this down to probably about here. Is my guess.
And the sleeve. Circle inside will.
Yeah, I can see that'll sleeve all the way over here over the hexagon of the back of the barrel.
And then the flash hider
there.
This will, I think, go into something here, like that, and that will go into here.
All right, let's get to building.
Take it to the shop.
Yep. How does this safety work? That's interesting. Anyway, where should we begin? Is there
This I know fits. So while you watch Adam and I assemble the DL-44 blaster, I want to give you guys a little bit more information about the various components that go into making this blaster. Right now you can see that Adam's doing some measurements because we want to attach this flash hider to the front of the C96 Mauser. Now, the flash hider, that front part of the pistol, is one of the most recognizable parts of this gun. And as I said earlier, it was taken originally from an MG81 machine gun mounted to a German aircraft.
There you are, sir.
Thank you.
That is a real model gun. No hole in the barrel. That's cool.
If you look at the flash hider in Star Wars A New Hope, you can actually see that using that detail, you can differentiate it from the different DL-44s used in Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, or even the stunt blasters used in Star Wars. The hero prop, the one that you see Han Solo holding in close-ups, has this very iconic flash hider, as you see, with 6 holes on the side. It comes out at a very distinct angle, and it attaches onto the gun, which has a bull barrel, that flat-bottom bull barrel, which was used in the Naked Runner version of the C96 Mauser. So here's an example of how the flash hider in a different version of the DL-44 differs from the one in the Hero Blaster. In the cantina scene, the famous cantina scene where Han Solo kills Greedo, that scene was actually shot in Hollywood after production moved back from England. And the production couldn't bring back the original DL-44 gun prop from England, so they remake it for that reshot scene. And in that scene, what Greedo is actually killed with is a different blaster known to fans as the Greedo Killer. That flash hider was actually taken from a M3 grease gun and doesn't have the same muzzle holes as you would see in the hero prop. And so if you look closely in Star Wars, you'll see that Han Solo actually is holding 2 guns in the movie. Awesome. Okay.
What's next?
Part of the scope.
Look at this.
Some tiny screws right here.
Yes.
So on to the scope that mounts on top of the DL-44. As I mentioned earlier, this scope is actually a found part. It was a German sniper scope from a company called Hensoldt Wetzlar, and it's the model Ziel Dialit 3X. You can actually see these words printed on the side of the scope.
All right, where's that scope? Fucking perfect is what that is. Excuse me.
Collectors have found historical versions of this scope and put it in their replicas, but for the purposes of our replica, the guys of the replica prop form actually machined a super perfectly accurate version of the scope. It's a steel scope and actually has brass rings on both ends and a brass dial on top with very, very finely engraved numbers on the dial. If you took this scope and you compare that next to the real German scope, I think you'd be hard-pressed to see any differences.
All right, what's next?
The scope mount. One fine piece of detail that I want to call out that lets you really appreciate the accuracy of this replica is the knurling on the scope dial. If you look closely at the scope dial, you can see that there is this kind of diamond hexagon-shaped knurling. Now, the guys of the replica prop form, Pat Matur and Carson Case, had to choose between different knurling patterns to match the one on the real scope, and they chose this pattern, which I think is very, very accurate. Now, the scope mount, I don't think was actually part of any real piece of weaponry used by the armorers. It was actually a custom-made mount. At least that's what the researchers on the RPF have determined. You have this crossbar, a dovetail joint, a custom cradle, and it's all fixed together with 3 screws, 2 main screws also having unique diamond knurling replicated in these replica parts. One last bit of trivia, if you have the Blu-ray editions of Star Wars and you look at the deleted scenes, there's actually a deleted scene in Return of the Jedi where the hero DL-44 blaster makes one final appearance. It's in the bunker scene where Han Solo invades the bunker on the forest moon of Endor, and in that scene he seems to be holding a reconfigured New Hope hero DL-44. that at least fans could recognize, except that the scope mount is mounted backwards, the scope arrangement is different, it's higher up, and there's no front grille, and even no flash hider. But fans have determined that is the final appearance of the Hero DL-44. All right. And then the front part, the grille.
Front part, the grille.
So what's a good way to hear this?
It's soft clamping.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. There it goes.
Yeah,
that'll make it. Yeah, exactly.
Anodized aluminum.
Wow.
There's something really specific and unique about holding the correctly weighted thing.
It's not just correctly weighted, it's different parts assembled. Like, for example, this thing, while it looks and maybe the shape is perfect and all the details are perfect, you can tell, for example, this was not made from a gun, or even a pop gun. And the flash hider, it's all one piece. And just seeing those seams, and you get all the tiny imperfections from you drilling the holes in.
That is such a pleasurable object. I'm really glad you came over with this challenge today. That is awesome, Norm.
Amazing. Thank you for helping me build this.
Dude, my pleasure.
Han Solo's DL-44 blaster. We're gonna do some weathering and improve it, but that is great.
The smuggler's sidearm. There you are, sir. Takes a proud place in your collection.
Of more from Test.com, more one-day builds, more stuff from the cave in the future. See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.